Peace, my beautiful souls. So I wanted to come here and talk about change, and specifically when when you're going on specific journeys, or like self-love journeys, healing journeys, spiritual journeys, whatever you want to call them, a lot of parts of you change. You start to also learn truly who you are. So you start to you start to set boundaries and things, and you're not doing the same things you used to do. You might be doing new things, so you start changing, right? And a lot of times certain people who you may be distancing yourself from, or certain people who are used to seeing you a certain way, they start to tell you, oh, you've changed. But the way that they say it is sounding like it's a negative thing, right? Or people would say like, or even if you're not in that type of journey and you change, and people start to say like they knew you would change if you started doing this or that, whatever the case may be, but they use the word change as if it was, once again, a negative thing. And sometimes that might like hurt our feelings, or you don't want people to say like, oh, I've changed, or you don't want people to think you've changed or switch it up. But what I'm here to say is change is a good thing. Change is very much so necessary. We're supposed to be changing, evolving, growing as time goes on, as we learn ourselves and start to learn new things about ourselves, start to like act on our dreams, act on our goals and such things, if you get what I'm saying. Change is not something that's negative. Even if somebody says it in a negative connotation, that just shows where they are energetically and vibrationally. And me personally, I don't want to be around people who are comfortable staying the same way and staying in the same type of thing, environment or situation, if that makes sense. For some people, they're fine with not changing because there's a lot of fear around it, and they even might have fear of somebody saying like, oh, you've changed. But what I'm here to say is like, don't take it personally if people are saying those type of things. And also don't be afraid of change, because once again, we're not meant to stay the same way all of our lives. Things, we're meant to change, and it's a beautiful thing. So what I'm here to say is to take it as a compliment if someone's telling you, oh, you've changed, even if they're saying it in a negative way, because once again, you're supposed to. When you're not changing is when you should be a little worried. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, even when it comes to you setting boundaries or you speaking up for yourself, certain people are not going to like that, especially if they're used to you being quiet, or used to you letting them do whatever they want to do and you not saying anything. They don't want you to change. So of course they're going to make you, or try to make you, feel bad about the fact that you have changed, when in reality it's a beautiful thing. It's a compliment for someone to tell you that you have changed, because you should. And you should be, once again, sticking up for yourself, learning how to speak up for yourself, learning how to set those boundaries and set those limits and distance yourself, or cut certain people off, or cut certain things out of your life completely. And this kind of coincides a little bit with the video I made about, well, not really, but I'm thinking about the video I made about fasting. And I meant to say, like, even changing the way, like deciding to change the way you eat completely. It can be hard and uncomfortable, and it might feel bad and stuff like that. Same with this, you changing might feel hard and uncomfortable, but it's a good thing. And just be patient with yourself, just be compassionate and graceful with yourself, and like reassure yourself that it's okay to change. It's important to change. It's a good thing, okay? Like I said, regardless of what anybody else has to say about it, even if it feels sometimes uncomfortable, stepping out of your comfort zone, doing new things, speaking up for yourself, setting boundaries, distancing yourself, you might feel bad, especially if you're used to being like a people pleaser. Even hearing someone say, oh, you've changed, and they're saying it negatively, it can hurt. Like it can hurt, and it's easy to let that like make you want to revert back to who you were before and stop that change. But don't do it. Don't stop. Don't revert. And even if you do revert, that's just a part of your timeline. But what I'm saying is, don't let it discourage you, the way that people see you, or the way that people may say things about you changing. Just know that overall, it's always going to be for your greatest good, for you to keep changing and growing and evolving, if that makes sense. I'm sure it does make sense. But yeah, don't be offended. Change, bloom, blossom, transform, be the butterfly. Change is a beautiful thing. Change is good. And sometimes we associate that so negatively too, because if you're someone who grew up with a lot of different things happening, a lot of change, but it's usually negative, like it usually caused chaos, turmoil, fear, and stuff like that. We hear that word change and we automatically get scared and think like it's going to be a bad thing. But one of the affirmations I like to tell myself before is I'm worthy of good change. I'm worthy of beautiful changes in my life, and I welcome in change with open arms, with love, with grace, with compassion, with excitement. Like, be excited for that change, because change is not, it doesn't have to be a bad thing at all. But the way we react to it sometimes can be a little chaotic, especially, once again, like I said, if you were used to a lot of change in your life growing up, but it was not like good. I hate to say good or bad, but I know you guys know what I mean. So just like rewiring your brain on what you see change as, if that makes sense. I think it does. But yeah, okay, I think that's all. I love you. See you later.